How long does it take? There's no standard processing time for this procedure, and it's strictly up to the lender and their competence of their department. Can take as little as 45 or as many 120 days. And there is no guarantee of what you will be offered, if anything. They can turn you down flat. So you don't know what you're going to get, which is why you don't want to pay somebody $3,000 up front, because no matter what they tell you, they don't make the decision. Your lender makes the decision. So if you're going to look at or review someone offering a loan modification service, you want to make sure that they are licensed by the Department of Real Estate, and that if they are telling you that they want to charge you an upfront fee, make them show you that they have an approved advance fee agreement. They probably don't, because they're very rare. And what their business model would have to then have a contract that you would sign with them, that you would agree to pay them a fee if they're successful in negotiating a loan modification for you. So basically, fee for service. If they provide the service and get you a better deal than what you've got, then you would owe them the money for the service because they did what they said. But again, that would be after the fact and not up front. Any questions on loan modifications? Yes, sir?
I have a couple of questions. Basically, start a loan modification process before your term is going to expire. Let's say you have, let's say, 2 years, and you are able to make the payments right now. But you know that 2 years from now you can't afford those payments. You start the process. That's one question.
Basically, again, the key there is to show that you can't afford it now. So if you're having trouble now, they're going to want to see the documentation on why you're having trouble now. But if you are apparently affording it now, then your success of getting your loan modified would probably not be great.
Okay. Does it matter whether you're self-employed or on W-2? Does it matter to the lender?
Well, it's part of your telling your story of how much you can afford. If you're self-employed in the business that you used to be in, if you were a realtor and you made $400,000 in 2005, and now you're making $40,000, that tells a story. So that makes sense. So it kind of depends on what you do and what you show as income.
So basically, if they agree on the loan modification, they go through the process of looking at your assets and other details and your credit rating, and then decide on the interest rate and other details.
Yes, if you're keeping up on your, that's very, thank you. If you, there's a lot of misconceptions on that, and a lot of people think that, and a lot of people have been told by lenders that you have to be late on your payment before they talk to you. Other lenders tell you that they don't want you to be late. So I would default and say, make your payments if you can, no matter what, and for many reasons, to keep your credit rating intact and to show good faith to the lender that you're really trying to make your payment, but you really need them to help you out. This question over here.
Yeah. Does it make any difference if you apply to a lawyer instead of by yourself? This is the first question, and I have second question as well.
Well, you would have to talk to a lawyer. They would charge you a fee. And again, they're exempt from the regulations, so they may charge you an advance fee or not. It may or may not help you. I know a lot of attorneys are offering that service, so it's possible.
All right. And if you do not charge, like being a salesperson, if you're a client and you do not charge them, okay, and after rendering the services, if they say they are already in the hardship, okay, and they do not want to pay you anything, so in that case, what kind of option that you have?
Well, it would be important as an agent to have a contract, so that an enforceable contract. So if you were an agent thinking about getting into it, or a broker thinking about getting into it, I would urge that you talk to your attorney to make you up a contract that is enforceable. So when you have your consultation with the client and you say, okay, well, I'm going to provide this service to you with no upfront cost, and if I am successful and successfully renegotiate your loan, then you would owe me this amount of money. And they would agree to it, they would sign the contract, and then if they tried to stiff you later, then you would have the capability of going after them, probably in small claims court. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about HUD and where fit in with negotiating, because, in fact, they have a hotline, and you can talk to them, and they have community centers, and they'll negotiate on your behalf. But what they say is that it's preferred because lenders like them, they know that they're not getting paid anything up front, and they have a more legitimate organization.
Yeah, that's a good point too. There are you can do a loan modification, attempt it yourself. You can go to nonprofit organizations. There are several nonprofits around that will perform that service for you depending upon your economic strata. Maybe for a fee or maybe not. If HUD will do it on your behalf for you for no fee, go for it. So actually, I hadn't heard about that at HUD, but that makes sense for them to do that, if they're willing to negotiate on your behalf. It depends if it's just advisory to tell you how to do it, or if they'll actually take an action on your behalf. So it seems to me that HUD would be a little busy right now to do that, but that's worth checking out, sure. Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about the Hope for Homeowners program?
Yes, it's a complete failure.
Pardon me?
It's a complete failure. Doesn't work. Seriously. They allowed $300 billion for the Hope for Homeowners program, and less than, I think, 4,000 people were actually able to take advantage of it. The reason for that is because it was strictly optional on the part of the lenders. The Hope for Homeowners program is an FHA program. And what it does is that it allows the homeowner to apply to their lender to get an FHA loan, but the lender has to agree to drop the principal balance so that not only you get a new appraisal on the property, so you're applying for a new FHA loan. So let's say you paid $500,000 for the property and you owe $475,000. Your house appraises for $400,000. Now the Hope for Homeowners program also requires that you have 10% equity in the property. So now the maximum loan you can get is $360,000. So to do that, the house would have to appraise for $400,000, and the lender would have to agree to eat the $100,000. The lenders are not agreeing to do that voluntarily. So that's the key place of where it fails.
What about the new possible legislation that's coming up on bankruptcy crackdown?
Another good question. That's very contentious. That's going to be a real problem too. What the gentleman's referring to is the legislation that's being discussed that requires lenders on a bankruptcy filing the court can instruct the lenders to take a short payoff when they might not want to. So they're concerned that this is going to create a flood of bankruptcies because people are going to go in and just do that. So that's a very contentious issue right now. And it tends to be splitting along party lines. So it's kind of hard to say, but yeah, that's something to definitely keep an eye out for. Yes, sir.
Do you have to use up a certain percentage of your personal assets before they will actually do any loan modifications?
That's a great question. It's kind of hard to say. It depends what your assets are. Generally, from what I've seen, they don't really need you to go after your retirement accounts generally. But if you're sitting on a lot of cash and you have a lot of relative asset, again, it's all part of your individual picture. I mean, they want to see you prove that you can't afford the payments. So if you have, substantial cash reserves, they'll say, well, let's use some of that $100,000 you got sitting in your savings account and make the payment. That's not hardship. So that's really part of the question. You really have to legitimately do that. A lot of people are just trying to get out of paying their loan because they think they can.
So when they actually would check on you, would they actually be doing a credit report review?
They can do that. That'll be part of their discussion. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
If I'm a single mom and if I have to send my daughter to college, so I have to pay for her college, is that considered to be a hardship? And I can write a letter to the lender saying that this is kind of a hardship and I'm a single mom. So can you consider me for modification of loan?
Yeah.
And do I have to go with the same lender? Like suppose if I have a Bank of America. So do I have to do the loan modification with Bank of America only, or I can go with any other bank?
Well, who currently holds your loan?
I'm sorry,
Who do you make your payments to?
Bank of America right now.
Right, so that's who you
Once I
negotiate
do
with.
the loan modification, can I do with different bank, or it has to be the Bank of America?
Well, no, a loan, because you're dealing with your mortgage holder. So
Okay.
whoever owns your mortgage is who you have to talk to. So if Bank of America holds your mortgage, then that's who you have to negotiate with. Now, you can get an attorney or a real estate broker or someone to negotiate for you, but whoever that is has to negotiate with Bank of America because they hold your loan. It doesn't help to go talk to Chase about your loan if Bank of America has it.